Astronomy Made Easy by Alfred H Miles. I saw and heard him as I was going home the other evening. A big telescope was pointed heavenward from the public square, and he stood beside it and thoughtfully inquired, "Is it possible, gentlemen, that you do not care to view the beautiful works of nature above the earth? Can it be true that men of your intellectual appearance will sordidly cling to 10 cents, rather than take a look through this telescope and bring the beauties of heaven within 1.5 miles of your eyes?" The appeal was too much for one young man to resist. He was a tall young man with a long face, high cheekbones, and an anxious look. He looked at the 10 cents and then at the telescope, hesitated for a single moment, and then took his seat on the stool. Here is a young man who prefers to feast his soul with scientific knowledge rather than become a sordid, grasping, avaricious capitalist, remarked the astronomer as he arranged the instrument. "Fall back, you people who prefer the paltry sum of 10 cents to a view of the starry heavens, and give this noble young man plenty of room." The noble young man removed his hat, placed his eye to the instrument, a cloth was thrown over his head, and the astronomer continued, "Behold the bright star of Venus. A sight of this star is worth $1,000 to any man who prefers education to money." There was an instant of deep silence, and then the young man exclaimed, "I say." I stood behind him and knew that the telescope pointed at the 5th story of a building across the square, where a dance was in progress. All people indulge in exclamations of admiration as they view the beauties and mysteries of nature, remarked the astronomer. "Young man, tell the crowd what you see." "I see a feller hugging a girl," was the prompt reply, "and if there isn't a dozen of them." "And yet," continued the astronomer, "there are sordid wretches in this crowd who hang to 10 cents in preference to observing such sights as these in ethereal space. Venus is millions of miles away, and yet by means of this telescope, and by paying 10 cents, this intellectual young man is enabled to observe the inhabitants of that far-off world hugging each other just as natural as they do in this." The instrument was wheeled around to bear on the tower of the engine house some distance away, and the astronomer continued, "Behold the beauties and the wonders of Saturn. This star, to the naked eye, appears no larger than a pin's point, and yet for the paltry sum of 10 cents, this noble young man is placed within 1 mile of it." "Well, this beats all," murmured the young man as he slapped his leg. "Tell me what you see, my friend." "I see 2 fellows in a small room, smoking cigars and playing chess," was the prompt reply. "Saturn is 86 million of miles from this town," continued the astronomer, "and yet the insignificant sum of 10 cents has enabled this progressive young man to learn for himself that the celestial beings enjoy themselves pretty much as we do in this world. I venture to say that there is not a man in this crowd who ever knew before that the inhabitants of Saturn knew anything about chess or cigars." Once more he wheeled the instrument round. This time it got the range of the upper story of a tenement house on the hill. The young man had scarcely taken a glance through the tube when he yelled out, "Great guns, but what planet is this?" "You are now looking at Uranus," replied the professor. "Uranus is 97,502,304 miles distant from the Earth, and yet I warrant that it doesn't appear over 80 rods away to you. Will you be kind enough, my friend, to tell this crowd what you see?" "Give it to him, that's it, go it, old woman," shouted the young man, slapping one leg and then the other. "Speak up, my friend, what do you see?" "By Jove, she's got him by the hair now, why she'll beat him hollow." "Will you be kind enough, my friend, to allay the curiosity of your friends?" "Whoop, that's it, now she's got him, toughest fight I ever saw," cried the young man as he moved back and slapped his thigh. The professor covered up the instrument slowly and carefully, picked up and unlocked a satchel which had been lying near his feet, and then softly said, "Gentlemen, we will pause here for a moment. When a man tells you after this that the planet of Saturn is not inhabited, tell him that you know better, that it is not only inhabited, but that the married couples up there have family fights the same as on this mundane sphere. In about 10 minutes, I will be ready again to explain the wonders and beauties of the sparkling heavens to such of you as prefer $1 million worth of scientific knowledge to 10 cents in vile dross. Meanwhile, permit me to call your attention to my celebrated toothache drops, the only perfect remedy yet invented for aching teeth.